make a
It'll
difference.
help, but you know, Faraz, that's really interesting because you know, you mentioned your partner who's Indian, Gaurav,
Ji.
right? And obviously, India is also known as one of the most corrupt governments
Ji.
in the world. But
Ji.
obviously, they've got their act together as far as business is concerned, with the outsourcing and IT and Bangalore and maybe all of it.
Right.
So, is that why they're not suffering the sort of problems that you are suffering as a Pakistani?
It's a very interesting. We had a long debate about the fact, me, Gaurav, and some other colleagues of ours, and we identified a basic fundamental difference between Indian business style and Pakistani business style. And one point that I would like to mention is the sheer element of consistency and knowing that future exists with the Indian frame of mind and mindset of business. In Pakistan, everything is so short term. You know, government hai, government nahi hai. Trade policy hai, trade policy nahi hai. Policy reforms एक particular business sector के लिए हैं, आज कल नहीं है, कल change हो जाएंगी.
Or definitely hongi.
Or definitely
Yeah,
hongi.
that's
And
true.
because of this non-existent consistency, because of this short-term approach, people believe कि जी जो काम है अभी कर लो, कल किसने देखी है.
All right.
Now Indians don't do that. They know that if a policy has been started, if a reform has established it as a law, it would be here for at least 6, 7, 8 years, and they can actually continue doing good business with various stakeholders. We can't do that, and because of this short-term background, we suffer. So that's the
very
fundamental
unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. I remember I have a very funny story from a few years back. This lady moved here from the UK and she brought with her a year's supply of toilet rolls.
Okay.
Have you ever heard that? That she actually brought a year's supply of toilet rolls.
This is an interesting
Because
one.
she
and
was like,
as the British say,
yes, it's a bit, yes. As the British say, actually don't comment on what the British say,
No,
because it'll be a little obscene, I can guarantee that.
Absolutely, you've gauged me well.
Yes.
But it's sad because this is not what real Pakistan is. Honestly, we talk about on coffee tables and say, "Ki, Pakistan is this and Pakistan is doing good and all that." But going out there, actually, convincing people at grassroots level, at entrepreneur level, is the change that we need. And
also, how guarded are you? Because I sense this change within myself. I can sit and moan about Pakistan because I live here, I'm living it, I'm dealing with it on a daily basis. So I feel I'm kind of justified in complaining a little bit, but God forbid if any of my friends move back from the States or are here on holiday and say, oh God, I'm like, who the hell are you? Like, I mean, do you feel that protection there as well, that you as a Pakistani still can complain a little bit, but nobody else is allowed to? You get very guarded and very defensive about the country if somebody says anything?
The thing is that there are areas that we lack in. Okay,
so you just have to be like, all
no,
right.
we've got to be honest.
You do.
We have got to be honest. We don't need to hide. We don't need to throw the rubbish under the carpet. Carry on doing it. We need to say, okay, this is the problem, but we are working towards it. This is what Indians said. This is what any developed or developing nation talks about. Yes, there are problems, but then who doesn't have problems?
Absolutely.
And we are working towards
That's
it.
a very good attitude.
In a structured way, and that's what really gains the respect of the other person who's talking to you in terms of business. Okay, yes, I have this. If for instance, if a person is saying, "Gee, can you deliver 4,000 bales of cotton by the end of say July?" and usually we would commit, "Okay, हाँ जी, कर देंगे, बिल्कुल, no problem." But we cannot. So we say we can actually deliver 1,000 bales, and we will be able to deliver the rest if you want in this time period. Now we come from a background कि जी, yes, of course, जी, हम जी 4,000 जी 8,000 कर देंगे, कोई मसला ही नहीं है.
You're so right. Yes.
And then just destroy the beginning of a relationship.
But even using this example, right? Even if you commit to 1,000 bales, right, in a month, for example, with the condition of the electricity here. I know, I mean, I was reading a report on one of the channels about how all small businesses are suffering. People are so unemployed now. Can you even make that commitment now as a business person, or are you just like, God, I don't know? And then how do you stay, abreast with other competitors?
Our business model is very simple. We go to the grassroots people and we identify small industries. We understand their capacities. We develop process and structured systems for them, and then we find the buyers and the market for them.
Excellent. So you're kind of turnkey, in control of the entire
Absolutely.
thing. Thank God, because otherwise you'd really be at a bit of a loss, I think.
Absolutely. We have just recently started an initiative called COI, that's Colors of Inspiration, and we are catering to the art market of Pakistan. We're going to BNU, Indus, NCA, Karachi School of Arts, and we are going to the grassroots unknown artists who are in kisi distant gaon mein baithe hue and they have the ability. We are identifying those. Okay, we are making their profiles, we're making their brands, we're making their portfolios, and we're actually taking them to international art galleries, investment buying houses, private collectors, and Christie's and Bonham as well.
Excellent.
So there's a huge market, there is a huge supply of talent and quality art. Okay.
Oh yes.
It's a matter of actually taking.
marketed.
Now it's just one of those things that we do. So there is a lot of potential, but you need to understand the capacity and deliverables, and then actually just translate the same according to the requirements of the Western market.
Absolutely. God, we should do something with you, like Dawn, you should do something with you in collaboration for that, to expose
I'm liking you
that.
even more now.
Yeah, because I think that would be wonderful,
Yeah.
especially the arts, because it's interesting how detrimental we can be to our own industries as well, because somebody was telling me how a lot of Indian buyers are now visiting NCA and all and picking up young artists' art and, you know, selling it for thousands, I wouldn't like to say millions, but for a lot in India and Bombay and Delhi.
You are so right.
Right, and I was just like, oh my God, now
So
we
right.
finally, I mean, that's a very selfish statement. I was like, now I finally got to a point when I can maybe start affording student art.
Right.
And I can't do that either now because
Right.
it's just being manipulated by outsiders. You know, and I do agree that artists should make more money. I think it's
Yes,
very selfish.
yes,
I do agree they should, because it shouldn't now be, I mean, the days of Van Gogh are now over.
Absolutely.
You know, but
And
it has to be a good balance.
Absolutely. The Indian art buyers, they're coming to Pakistan. They understand the quality of art.
Yes.
They're taking this art not only to India, but to England as well. I mean, you go to art galleries and there are Indian art galleries and there's Pakistani art. And I was baffled. I was very proud as well, honestly. I was like, brilliant, yeah. I mean, we have that quality of art available. And so much so, but why there isn't a Pakistani who's doing that?
There are so many industries now in which there is no proper setup. I mean, honestly, coming from like a background of acting and all, you know, so many people when I'm abroad, they say, okay, so do you have agents?
Yeah.
Do you have managers? And I just laugh.
What are you
And
talking
I was
about?
like, what are you talking about?
True.
Like, I answer my own phones. You know, if I do get a gig, as they call it, it's my own doing or my own networking.
You should not be concentrating on marketing of yourself or branding or packaging of it, okay? That's the job of people like myself. You concentrate on your art, your acting. And that's the
I think
whole
that's another
premise.
department you should focus on for us, because we have so much talent here. There are a lot of people who are fantastic stage actors and fantastic hosts, anchors, and they don't get the opportunity.
My wife usually says, she goes, slowly catchy monkey.
Okay, so one step at a time.
Baby steps, I would.
Stick to the
inshallah.
artists who are like painting at the moment. But with that, thank you. It was fun talking
Thank
to
you
you.
so much.
As always. And thank you for taking out the time. I know how busy you are.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
And with that, we're going to go on a break. Please don't go too far, because we will be joining Mariam. And, you know, she'll be talking to people about positive reinforcement for children. Sounds very profound, doesn't it? My God. With that, please don't go too far. Go and join Mariam and then me again in the studio.